Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of Unboxing Enterprise Software. And in today's session, we will touch upon API management tool. And the tool which we'll be touching upon today is webMethods. So for today's session, I truly believe that to get familiarized with enterprise software, the best way is to play with it in a context of a use case. So let me quickly give you a walkthrough of a customer profile. And again, it is based on experience and, some of them is definitely made up. But if you can pause the video and read about the customer profile. But key things to note in this is that they are looking for better customer experience, connectivity with customers and suppliers, and solution should not only solve the current pain points but should be ready for future also. So with this context in mind, let's get into the role play for the presentation. Then we'll definitely touch upon the software also. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's discussion on modernizing enterprises using webMethods platform. So before we dive into the presentation, let me share the high-level agenda for today's session. So again, we'll talk about our understanding. So we already had one discussion with you guys, did little discovery. So we'll validate that particular understanding. Then we'll highlight the challenges which we understand based on our discussion and also based on our experience with our different customer base also. And then we'll go into the why us side of things, like why our platform, why this particular platform is better than others. And then we'll talk about the to be state, what are the solutions, how we will be solving the current pain points and future pain points using the platform. Then we'll touch the technology also using a simple demo. Then of course we'll do the question and answer sessions and wrap up, and we'll follow up with the next steps. So based on the discussion which we had, right? So we had the multiple stakeholders, and so everybody brought their points, and we discussed around those. So at a high level, we were able to talk to enterprise architect, technical architect, and business sponsor. So everybody had their agenda in their mind. So we have tried to capture everything. Again, you can definitely go through this, and we can validate it if we have misquoted something or if we have missed out something. But these are the high level things which we have discussed and validated with you guys in the past also. So what we did is, so I have created certain buckets for all these points which we have discussed. So one thing which stand out for us is definitely customer experience. And then this is needless to say that customer experience is of utmost importance. So 32% of all customers would stop doing business even after one bad experience. So this may be so applicable to B2C customers, but this is very well applicable to B2B customers also. So experience, they might not move away, but there will be different things which they will be, there will be penalties based on the customer experience. There will be delays in deliveries and all that stuff. So again, very very important aspect of the challenges which we have discussed. Time to market, so this has been proven again and again. So time to market with the right product, that's of utmost importance for all enterprises. The second part, which is very important in these days, it has to be secure. So this report, I took it from sysdig actually. So within 5 minutes of credential discovery, attack starts, and these attacks are brutal. So ransomware and whatnot. So there is a IP related stuff, and of course customer related, employee related. Everything is at stake at this point. So when we are talking about modernizing the enterprise, we are definitely looking at something which is secure also. And then the third set of buckets, new business channel. So everybody is trying to make sure that okay, they are not only leveraging their existing business channels, and they are opening other revenue streams also, so which has a direct impact on the top line of any company actually. And the last one, not the least one, developer experience. So this again, to quantify this particular thing, it's very difficult. But again, based on a lot of surveys and a lot of studies, it has been found that if developers are enabled and they have a better experience developing apps for a particular enterprise, then it has a direct impact on the productivity, efficiency, and the quality of code which it goes into production also. So yeah, so these are the challenges. You can again point out to me if something is misquoted or if we are missing something. So before we jump into the technology and the as is and the to be part, I wanted to cover the why us part also. So before this is both Gartner and Forrester. They play a very significant role in guiding enterprises' software decisions. So achieving a leadership in both the reports definitely reflects the commitment of the company. And again, this directly tells us that okay, not only features wise but also the market presence. It's a leading solution which is out there. So with that agenda and with that set in stage, let's jump into the current state. So based on our discovery in our organization, right? So we noted a diverse set of applications. So there were SaaS applications, there were on-premise, there were hypervisor-based applications. So these applications require data from various sources, leading to chaos in ownership and impacting downstream functionalities. So this chaos is not only limited to the enterprise, but this chaos is shown to the outside world also in terms of suppliers and customers, which definitely is not a very good experience for them. So one of the example could be that let's say if you are changing an attribute in a particular application, if you don't know what that attribute change will impact any downstream applications or not, so that it will take time to bring that particular change which customers have requested for. And it will result in a bad experience, and it will result in a bad data also going out to your customers and dealer network. So this is not only related to outside world, but this inside chaos, it shows up to the outside world also. So what we are proposing is an API-led connectivity. So this is a standardized approach to address connectivity needs through APIs using a single platform. The first step is to integrate all applications into a common platform, exposing them as APIs, and manage those APIs using the same platform. So this is the high level of the platform. So for all the applications, they will be talking to each other using a standard platform, uh, and again exposing that their data through an API, and those APIs will be managed through an API management platform, using which the outside world will be communicating with your enterprise. So this does is it gives a standardized approach. If you are, for example, going back to the previous slide example, right, that one attribute is changing. So in this case, there is one standard platform to go to. That platform is responsible for that particular attribute change. So again, if everything is talking through a single platform, so finding out what is the downstream impact, it's pretty straightforward and easy using a standardized approach. So again, when we'll go through the demo, you will realize okay how easy the platform is and how we can definitely uh, plug and play the platform and achieve the results which we are looking for, and of course addressing the pain points which we have already discussed with you guys. So with that, let's jump into the demo side of things. So demo also, I've kept it very simple today. So we will be, of course, using API gateway, where the most of the API management will happen. The runtime aspect of APIs will be there, and then behind the scene there will be integrations also. So integration is to highlight how different applications will talk to each other. And in today's example, I'll be taking Salesforce as one of the application, which will be holding data for opportunities. So very simple flow to highlight the actual benefits of the platform itself. And again, when we are wrapping it up, also I will definitely map the things which I have shown with the pain points which we have discussed with you in our previous discussions. So with that, let's jump into the platform. So one of the thing is, since it is a single platform, right? So we are leveraging a free forever version of provided by Software AG, the webMethods platform. So they provide all the capabilities in one place. So API gateway, API developer portal, and also the integration side of things. So I will start with the integration side of things first. So again, this is already open. So I'll go here, and again, as I mentioned earlier, right? So this is I'm using Salesforce as a backend as an applications which is holding opportunities here. So this is the data which you will be pulling in, will be pulling out using the APIs, using the integration platform itself. So again, Now, when we are talking about applications talking to each other, right? So this is, for example, let's say if I want to create a new integration, right? So for me, I'm creating it. I just have to click on this plus button and I'll be able to create a new workflow. So I've already created an empty workflow just to showcase this particular functionality. So looking for, let's say, if again, if I want to talk to Salesforce, so I'll say Salesforce, look for Salesforce, and I'll get all my connectors to Salesforce here. Let's say if I want to talk to ServiceNow, so ServiceNow is also available here. So what the platform has done is it has created a lot of connectors to all the leading SaaS applications which are out there, which makes it lot very easy for any enterprise to just drag and drop and start playing with that with those particular applications. So for example, in this case, I will take let's say Salesforce CRM REST. I'll just drag this, and again I will start configuring that particular connector. So in this case, let's say if I want to create an account, it will ask me, okay, what is the name of this, and then it will ask me to create take a particular connection which has already been created, and using this, just simple drag and drop, the whole connector setup is done. So I've already created a workflow leveraging this. So this will come in very handy at that point. So now next thing is again. So this one is talk SaaS applications talking to each other. So if you let's say if you want to talk to some of the applications which are on premise, so you can create a flow service. You can create have an API exposed on that particular service, and just drag and drop that particular service here, and you can use it as any other connector which is out there. So huge list of connectors. I'll be pasting the links in the description of this video. You can definitely go through that and look at the options, connectors, and all the services, all functionalities which are available here. And it's a very very rich platform. You can definitely find a lot of value in this particular thing. So now let's go back to the one which is already created. So in this case, so let's say I'll take this one. So this is get opportunity CRM. So in this, what I've done is I'm just so this is the webhook which I have created, which is going into the Salesforce and then returning data. So if I want to test this particular whole workflow, I will just say I will start this, and it will start the kickoff this particular workflow, and it will tell you okay at which stage it is in. So this is a UI part of it, right? You are on a UI, you are looking at the workflow, and it will give you a very very visual uh, uh, description of what is happening within the workflow. But when we are running it as a background process, this will run behind the scene, and of course it will log everything for you. So in this case, I have you can definitely see what has happened, how much each step took it, and you can easily follow through this particular workflow. So pretty straightforward, very easy to create an integration using the platform. So the next thing is, using those same integration, you can create an API on top of that. So in this case, what I have done is I've created an API called get op. You can create those APIs after clicking on this button also. So you click on this particular API. You can create API and then start following the wizard, which prompts you to either use an existing integration or use a standard definition of a particular API, and using that you can create your particular API. So I've already created an API which is get opportunity. So this part relates to the integration with Salesforce. So now my API is ready. So the next step is I have to take this particular API and have it on my API gateway where I will manage this particular API. So that part also I have done it. So in this case, this is a platform for gateway. So where all my APIs will come in. So very simple, same step, create API. I can follow along the same wizard, which is like, okay, import API from file or import API from URL or create from scratch. So I have tried to create a mix and match of all the combinations. So one is I've already created an API on Software AG's platform itself. Second is I took Pet Store API, which is freely available. You can play with that. and you can upload that particular API and start playing with that particular API also. So some of the things which I wanted to highlight in this, I'll not go into the details of everything here, but some of the things which I wanted to highlight was, for example, policies. So at the gateway level, you have an option to create policies at a global level. You can have, for example, a denial of service by IP, denied IPs, and you can configure your rules on top of that. So these are the policies which are applied at the gateway level. And then within an API, if I go here, for example, let's say if I go to this particular API, I go to the policy, it gives me a huge policy catalog, and these all API policies are applied at the policy level. So if you look at it, it is very logical that you have denial of IP policy at the gateway level, and who can access that particular API, that particular policy at the API level itself. So a couple of features I'll touch upon using API gateway, and then we'll go back to the presentation itself. So if you see this particular API, let's say mocked pet store API. So in this particular API, what I have done is I'm not going to the backend system. So imagine a scenario when your customer or your suppliers or your partners, they are requesting a new functionality and your backend code is not ready. In that case, what you can do is you can create an API and just give a mock response in that and let your partners play with that particular API. Unless they give you a thumbs up, in parallel, you can keep on doing your backend development for those APIs. So in this case, what I have done is I have taken this API mocking, I have enabled this API mocking, and for this particular function, I'm giving a mocked up response. It says just demo mode activated. So whenever somebody is invoking this API and mocking is enabled, they will just get this particular response only. So let me go back to Postman and let's see how it works also, whether it works or not. So in this case, let's say mocked pet by ID. So this is that particular API. It's going to the gateway URL itself. And now when I say send, it just invoked that and it got 200 OK, and it gave me this particular response. So if I come back here and I say my mocked pet store, I will say edit, I will say yes, and I'm come to API mocking, and this particular response at 200, I will say edit, and I will say KD, and I will say yes. So I have changed my response. So, and in this case I can change my attribute also, and I can and I'm just good to go with this particular API. And now if I go back to my pet store and I submit this particular again, so now if you see, I'm getting the new mocked up response. So you can imagine that benefit you can get using this particular approach. So development has not happened, backend is not ready, but your API structure signature is ready, and you are working with your partners to get things signed off from them used on the based on this signature. So once this is set and done, you can give same signature to your developers, and they will create the API based on this specification itself. So it comes in very handy. So the next feature which I want to talk about is throttling. So imagine a scenario when your backend application is not able to handle particular load from consumers. So in those scenarios, what you can do is you can throttle that traffic at the gateway level itself. So you don't have to touch your applications or modify your application to adhere to that SLA or to that particular load. You can directly stop the traffic at the gateway level, and you can call the consumers, give a response, proper response back to consumers saying that, hey, you know what, you have exceeded your quota or exceeded your limit. So the way to do that is, so we'll use the same API, pet store API, and in this particular API, what I've done is I have created a policy at the API level, and the policy is called traffic optimization policy. So in this particular policy, what we are saying is, if you are making more calls than this, and the alert interval is within a particular alert interval, you can definitely define that. If they exceed that, if consumer exceeds that, you will give a response back saying you have exceeded your quota, and it will be a custom message. So now let's see how the application behaves, and I'll be using Postman for that particular thing. So this is my API throttle get pet by ID, and this is the same API which has this particular policy defined at the gateway level. So let's run this particular API and see the response. So again, a response came back, and if I am invoking it for the fourth time, it is saying invocation of the API is not allowed. Reason, threshold exceeded. So this is the custom message which I have configured at the gateway level itself. So you can see how easy it is to configure this at the API level itself. So when we are managing the API, not at the time when you are building the API, or the onus is not on the application builder for that particular API. You are doing at an abstract level itself. So this is one of the big advantage of using API management platform in this case. So now going back to API gateway, right? So okay, so many calls are happening, and you are able to see, you are able to manage those particular APIs. But the thing is, you have created your APIs. Now the next thing is you have to manage your APIs and also analyze your APIs. What is happening at the platform level itself? So once, if I click on that particular analytics tab, right, it will load all the analytics about the API. And in this case also, you can configure it, the level of detail which you want on those particular APIs, what should be logged or what should not be logged. Everything you can control it at the API level. Once it is done, you will be able to see what is happening at the gateway level. Every call which can be recorded, and the level of recording is up to you. You can configure that. So you can see, for example, in this case, right, so I've invoked this particular API, and it is saying a violation of policy was detected. So it is logging the actual alert description, in this case a custom description, and it is able to log that and give visibility to the user itself. So so this is one of the feature of the gateway. You can monetize your API. You can, for example, in your case, you want to create a new channel, right? You want to, let's say, you want to sell your APIs, you want to monetize your APIs. You can use that particular feature of the platform itself. You can create your packages, you can sell those packages, and you can connect it with payment gateways and whatnot. So that's again on the monetization part of it. For example, the other part is, you can, with your newer architecture, right, when you have microservices. So rather than having all the traffic going through one big gateway, you can have micro gateways also, which is part of the platform itself. So it can be deployed in a sidecar fashion, and you will have microservices sitting along with the micro gateway itself. So lot of features. It's not it's very difficult to cover everything in one session, but some of the highlight feature which are related to your requirement, which I tried to cover in this particular demo. So let's go back to the presentation. So this is what you guys saw in the demo today, right? So I was using Postman, API gateway was there, and the integration part of it where I was connecting to Salesforce. So now the features which I have shown today, right? I have tried to map it to the requirements itself, to the pain points which we had discussed initially. So I'll just pick some of those, for example, right? So it takes, big thing is, it takes a lot of time to do a simple change. That's what your consumers, your customers, and partners are complaining. So with API-led approach and mocking feature, right? You can definitely reduce the time to market and the testing time and the development time. It can accelerate to very very large level. And one of the thing was, system was not able to scale, and systems were regularly failing the SLAs, right? So throttling, caching, and of course it's a cloud solution, it's a SaaS based solution. You'll be able to address those also. We will touch security at a very 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 high level, which is a very big concern for you guys, and global policies, for example, right, which we touch. And then there's another angle of all the identity policies which are available. So net, if you look at all the major pain points which we discussed, I try to cover those into this particular demo. But for more details, let's connect back, and we can talk in detail about all the use cases itself. So as a next step, we can definitely talk to all the stakeholders, define the use cases, define actual success criteria which will make sure that your needs are taken care of, and we can discuss timelines also. So with that, yeah, thanks a lot for your time, and yeah, connect with us, and will be more than happy to help you guys. Thank you. Take care.